Hey guys, it's Destiny back with another video, and you're watching the Decimania channel on YouTube. My first TNA review for a while. Well, it's not going to be much of a review, it's more going to be key points from this show. And this is basically going to be final resolution predictions, because if I'm being honest, this show was good for what it was, but I'm not going to review any more weekly shows this month until we start getting more storyline development and build, because there has been no build to Final Resolution, really, other than like Rhino and Moose. So what this is going to be is mainly the Final Resolution 2023 predictions, with a couple of key points from the show that I thought I'd bring up. Let's get those out of the way first. But before we do, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Go ahead. Since TNA is coming back, why don't you hit that subscribe button with the Styles Clash? Maybe a Pele kick. You know, do AJ proud. Do AJ Styles proud. Speaking of AJ, he should be back tomorrow at least, hopefully. I'm hoping. I miss AJ. Anyway, the points that I wanted to make from this show. It's a very good show, but I'm not going to review any action on it because I'm not going to butcher any of these freaking Mexican wrestlers' names. The only ones that I recognized on the show, and not that this isn't why I'm not reviewing it, but the only ones that I recognized on the show were Vikinga, Black Taurus, and Laredo Kid. Will Ospreay will be returning at Hard to Kill. He will be in action. Or no, not at Hard to Kill, on their Snake Eyes tour. Or show the next night. So, we'll find out who he will face at Final Resolution this Sunday. They'll reveal it. They will reveal it this Saturday, not Sunday. No, the person who's coming back at Hard to Kill will be Okada. Okada will be coming to Hard to Kill. Now, what they said was he's coming back to conquer a new world or landscape or something like that. So that makes me think he's going to be doing some stuff with TNA for a while. He's going to be a free agent, I think, in 2024, as is Will Ospreay. Well, no, he's not actually, because he's going to finish up with New Japan, and then he's going to be in AEW. I don't know. I've seen Okada once, and it was on a TNA show, of all things, but I don't remember who he was facing. It might have been Samoa Joe. I can't remember. But Okada's going to be coming back to TNA. This would be cool, because I'll be watching Hard to Kill Saturday. You kidding me? I ain't gonna miss the rebirth of TNA. You know, I have fond memories of that company. Those 3 letters in wrestling give me fond memories. Whether it was the Bischoff and Hogan era, which I know some people don't like. But you gotta think, to a kid, that's freaking awesome that Hogan and Bischoff was there. I mean, I kind of liked Hogan. I wasn't a huge fan of Hulk Hogan, but it was kind of cool to see the guy that wrestled Andre the Giant, because that's what I knew him as. Up until that point. Yeah, I know. But, you know, stuff like that's cool to someone like me. You know, I'm a big nostalgia person. Okay, so I'm not sure if they announced all of the matches for Final Resolution, but we're gonna run down what I have so far. I'm not sure who's gonna be on the pre-show. I know Frankie Kazarian's going to be on it, I think, but I don't know who's gonna be. He's gonna be facing. Guess we'll find out. The main card, from what I can tell, has 6 or 7 matches. First, we're going to start with what looks to be the only women's match on the show. It's going to be Trinity and Jordan Grace taking on Deonna Purrazzo and Giselle Shaw. Trinity and Grace are going to win this, I believe. Because from what I heard, actually I want to point this out too. Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful Select reported, I think it was today, that Deonna is not re-signing or has not re-signed with Impact so far. So we'll see what happens there. We know PCO has re-signed with TNA. Now I can officially start calling it TNA again. So that'll be fun. I won't have to correct myself in my head. But Trinity and Grace will win, I believe. Speedball Mike Bailey will be taking on Trey Miguel of the Rascals. I'm gonna say since Bailey lost at the last one, I think Bailey's gonna win here. The ABC, Chris Bay and Ace Austin, or the Ace and Bay connection. That's what I like to call them. Actually, that's might be what this stands for. It could stand for that, the Ace Bay connection. Or Ace Bay Club or something like that, because they're members of Bullet Club. How many members of Bullet Club are there? Like, how many reincarnations? Someone let me know. I know AJ was in one, Finn Balor, Cody, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. How many people were in this? Adam Cole, I think. Roderick Strong. I have no freaking idea. Anyway, ABC will be taking on the unlikely team of Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. ABC are going to retain. I'm just telling you right now, ABC are going to retain. They're not going to put the titles on Moose and Myers. Or not on Moose and Myers, but Eddie and Myers. Unless, and this is very unlikely, Moose branches out on his own after he wins the world title. I do think Shelly will lose it next month. I hate to say it. I hope I'm wrong about that. I kind of want Shelly to retain for another month or two, but if he loses at Hard to Kill, I'll be fine. I'm not the biggest Moose fan, but whatever. If he does win it, then, Shelly had a good run. And I'm surprised they kept it on him as long as they have. Tommy Dreamer will be defending his digital media championship. He was in action earlier tonight against, actually it was Brian Myers and Black Taurus versus Laredo Kid and Tommy Dreamer. Laredo and Dreamer won. Dreamer will be defending his title against Cody Deaner of The Design. Maybe I missed something. I really wish they could get Eric Young on this card. It's Final Impact. Maybe they'll get him on the Hard to Kill pay-per-view. Because if you want to... This is just me. I'm predicting Tommy Dreamer to win that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Deaner wins it. Or maybe Dreamer will have help, but who's going to help him? Maybe Eric Young. That's where maybe he comes in there. I mean, I know he beat Diener a couple months ago and ended his rivalry, but maybe Eric comes out and he says, hey, I still want a piece of these guys, and helps Dreamer fend off Khan or something and distracts Diener. I wish we saw more with the design. I like the gimmick behind the design, and I liked Violent by Design when Eric Young was with them. I'm gonna do a whole thing on Eric Young one day, because I have a lot to say about Eric Young. When his time comes to go into the Hall of Fame or, something, I'm gonna have a lot to say about Eric Young, because I didn't realize that Eric was one of my favorites until a couple of years ago. I mean, he was one of my favorites when he won the title, but I've gained a lot more respect for him over the years because of how he's been able to reinvent himself. But no, Dreamer's gonna retain against Diener, I think. Moose versus Rhino. I think Moose is gonna win here because he's gonna send a message to Alex Shelley for Hard to Kill. Speaking of Hard to Kill, I just realized it's been nearly 4 years since Tessa Blanchard won the World Championship from Sami Callihan. And 4 years since the pandemic. Wow, that seemed like a freaking year ago. But no, Moose will win. The last match I have is the Motor City Machine Guns, Sabin and Shelley, so they won't be defending their titles, and they don't really need to right now. They don't need to. Let them do some tag team action. It's gonna be Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin versus the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and Zack Sabre Jr. Be my first time seeing him in action, so that'll be cool. It's gonna be a good match. I've heard he's really good, and I already know how good Sabin, Shelley, and Alexander are. So this is gonna be a good match. I'm going with, I don't really care who wins. I don't know what you do here. Because really none of these people can, are gonna get hurt taking a loss. But I think if I'm TNA, or if I'm Impact, and I'm Scott D'Amore, and I wanna go into TNA, the rebirth of TNA with a bang, I'm putting Shelley over in this match. But if Zack Sabre Jr. and Alexander win, I'm not going to complain because I'm just excited for this match. This is a card that I'm really not too excited for because there was no build to it and I didn't get this card until the last minute. I feel like there's another match I'm missing, but I can't be too sure. When are we going to get Bully and Macklin one-on-one? When's that gonna happen? Is that gonna happen Hard to Kill? I don't know, but we'll see what happens with that. But let's run down those predictions again. I got Trinity and Jordan Grace going over Deonna Purrazzo and Giselle Shaw. Speedball Mike Bailey getting the win over Trey Miguel. The ABC retaining their tag team titles against Chris Bay and Ace Austin. or Chris Bane. Oh wow, yeah, they're defending against themselves, guys. Chris Bane and Ace Austin, ABC versus Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. I've got ABC winning. Tommy Dreamer retaining his digital media championship over Cody Deaner. Moose goes over Rhino. And the Motor City Machine Guns defeating Zack Sabre Jr. and Josh Alexander. That's all the matches I have. If I'm missing anything, I will definitely cover it on my review on Sunday. So, sorry, it wasn't much of a review. But, like I said, I'm not going to be doing it's not going to be very review heavy when it comes to the TNA shows. I might put out a TNA related video, though, on Thursdays, just to kind of give you guys some form of TNA content from me on Thursdays until we can get back into the swing of, storylines and, angles and all that stuff. Right now, they're kind of just going through the motions, which is fine. It's the end of the year. It's the holiday season. People probably want to, spend time with their families, or maybe don't want to, do too much, and that's fine. I'll put some kind of TNA related thing out every week. I might do a pay-per-view review or DVD review just for the next couple weeks, or I'll give you something over the weekend, but that's going to be my TNA schedule until further notice. Don't worry, I'm not giving these up. I'm still going to do them, just not right now because they're not very storyline heavy at the moment. But Final Resolution is going to be good. Sorry I didn't come up in a review Turning Point. It was kind of a last minute thing and didn't really have the card in front of me to predict or anything, so. But I'll do Final Resolution Sunday. I'll watch it, and here's something else too. This is just me. But if I'm TNA, or if I'm Impact Wrestling, I'm Scott D'Amore, I'm management, I'm getting as many former TNA names on that show as, obviously do the ones that you've got under contract, but, bring in James Storm, since they're cutting back on your show, why don't you let Abyss and Bobby Roode and them come in? Bobby Roode, Abyss, Eric Young. Man, I really miss him. I really miss Abyss and Bobby Roode. Both. Wow. AJ Styles, if you can get him, probably not going to be likely. But, get Christopher Daniels from AEW. Get as many TNA names on that show just to kind of reintroduce what TNA was and have some of the stars from the past on that show. Don't have all of them win or anything, but, have that kind of, hey, this is what we were. This is the stars of yesterday competing against the best of today. Do that kind of thing. Maybe do a TNA reunion thing. I don't know if there's enough time for that. That might be fun to do. I might try to do that at some point in the coming weeks. I might try to book a TNA one night stand or TNA reunion show. Maybe don't call it TNA one night stand because that's ECW's thing. Total Nonstop Action reunion. You know, something like that. Oh man, it'd be so cool to see AJ walk back down that ramp again. I get it, he's in WWE, and I'm sure you guys will maybe understand this. Some people will know where I'm coming from. It's gonna be weird to see AJ retire in WWE, if he does. It's not gonna bother me, but it's just gonna feel weird if he retires in WWE. And I'm mainly saying AJ because he was TNA's John Cena or Stone Cold or whatever you want to call him. He was basically TNA's Sting, and then they actually brought in Sting, but whatever. Wow. Really wish they would get him on there. I don't know what his relationship is with any of those guys. I heard he kind of left on bad terms. I mean, not like bad terms, but I think he was frustrated with his pay or something. A lot of the guys were getting pay cuts, but a lot of people say that's when TNA originally died. So maybe even if you didn't want to bring him back, have him just walk out there. Don't do the Bobby Lashley thing, or this is where a Bobby Lashley WrestleMania this year situation would work, because you could just have AJ come out and be like, hey, I'm back, for one night only, it's great to see the TNA is finally back, or whatever. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but wouldn't that be freaking awesome? I'm sorry, I'm rambling, I just really miss AJ and TNA. But, he's in WWE. He's doing pretty good there. I mean, he's not really doing much lately because he got took out by the Bloodline. But hopefully we'll see him back tomorrow. Oh crap, AJ Styles and CM Punk in the same building. That's going to be interesting. But, that's my final resolution predictions. And we'll talk some more about the rebirth of TNA and what I think it could mean in the coming weeks. Maybe that might be a Thursday episode instead of doing WrestleWorld Wednesday or doing a TNA review. I'll come up and just talk about some things I would like to see or what I think they could do. Because I want them to grow again. I want them to kind of have the audience that they had when I started watching. They didn't have WWE's audience, but they had a big enough audience to where, there was noise in the buildings and people were having a good time and stuff like that. I miss that from TNA. And it sucks that for these people that want these companies to just go out of business, like these AEW haters that think that AEW is now dead because CM Punk's not there, and, I agree that it's not as interesting as it was without Punk, and that's part of it. That's only a small part of it. But I also think he could book the women's division better. We talked about Serena Deeb, but there I go, getting off topic again. I just want TNA to succeed. I want it to maybe get back to what it used to be almost. I love that. As a TNA fan for about 11 years now. 12 years now. I want to see that happen. I guess you could even say 10, because I kind of sporadically was watching it in 2010, but that's all I've got for you today. Please have a good night. Happy holidays. Hope you guys have a good Christmas and stuff like that. I don't know, I might put out a special Christmas video or something. The day of Christmas or Christmas Eve or something. I don't know, we'll see. for now, I'm gonna leave, and I'll probably do a review tomorrow, a DVD review, or something. I'll do something fun this weekend. I mean, I know I'm doing Final Resolution, but tomorrow I'll do something too. But anyway, y'all have a good night. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.